What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Viall Files Reality Recap Edition. I'm your host, Nick, and boy, do we have a show for you. Later this episode, we have a sit-down with Luke Broderick, also known as Kristen Doute's fiance and father of her child. He is with us to talk about all things fatherhood, the Valley. Obviously, we ask him some direct questions about the other men on his show, and he gives us some very interesting answers. Also this episode, and joining us very shortly, Wells Adams, your favorite bartender in Bachelor in Paradise, joins us to talk about everything that's going on in the world, plus, answer all your burning questions about what's going on the beaches of paradise. Let's just bring on Wells, who is standing by to ready to join the show, and then we'll kick things off with him. Welcome back to the show, Wells.
What's up, guys?
How's it going? Did you paint your walls green for this appearance? I feel like last time I zoomed in with you, you had like a black and white checkered foam thing going on. This looks great.
Yes, I did it. I heard I was going to be on the Viall Files, and I was like, you know what, guys, I have to be able to match the aesthetic. It needs to be done. So I called up my handyman. He came here, painted it last night, and I think it looks pretty good.
It looks great.
It honestly is a great match.
Yeah. Are those cassette tapes in the background?
No, these are. I do a golf podcast with my buddy Chad Mumm, who's the executive producer for the golf show on Netflix called Full Swing, and so these are all golf pencils of places that I played that I.
Oh, that's cool. Well, how are you? What's new?
Nothing. I have been gone. I've been gone forever. So Sarah was doing a Broadway show in New York. So I was in New York a lot, and then I went to Costa Rica to film this little show called Bachelor in Paradise, which was very fun. So I was gone for like a month and change there, and then went back to New York. And so I've just not been home. So it's like, and then we got back and we went to Sarah's brother's wedding, and so like I'm just like finally back home, and it just feels so lovely to be back in LA.
Before we get into Bachelor in Paradise, I'm assuming like the rest of the world, you have followed this Coldplay CEO, HR.
It's brought the world together.
It's really brought the world together. You always have something funny to say with regards to pop culture commentary. I mean, is there anything that you haven't said that the rest of the world has regarding this amazing story?
I mean, it is fantastic, by the way. Like, but I do feel kind of bad because it's ruined a lot of people's lives. Like, her marriage is probably going to be over. His marriage is probably going to be over. He's like now no longer the CEO. I think she's no longer like the HR department head or whatever. I'm sure the company doesn't survive this. So,
how old is this company? Is it? Like,
I have no idea.
I've never heard of it before. I mean, like honestly, like. It's great branding.
The person that you guys need to get on your show is the girl that's standing.
Yeah, no, we've tried.
Mm-hmm.
We've tried. I
mean, like her face goes full red. She knows that she's in a space.
Oh, we've reached out. Well,
yeah,
we have.
Okay, good.
We have reached out. You feel bad?
I mean, I don't like. My parents got divorced. I don't know if I want anyone to have to go through that. Do I think it's hilarious? Absolutely. Do I think that if they just played it off and like didn't freak out and anyone would find out about it? Absolutely not. But yeah, like I think a lot of lives are going to be ruined over going to a
define.
Yeah.
Define ruined. First of all, it's what's fascinating because now you're getting all these different shots from people throughout the stadium, and people who like weren't even taking pictures of these people, and you can see up in the rafters these two people like wrapped around each other. So now you're getting all these other like pictures from people being like, oh, there they were. Like they were basically on the 50-yard line up in the second deck on the ledge for like anyone to see who was looking. I mean, like forgetting about, let alone Coldplay doing the whole kiss cam and shining a spotlight on them. They're at this public venue for like, it's Coldplay. Coldplay's the type of concert where like you run into someone you went to high school with. You know what I'm saying? Where it's just like, oh, shit, and these two people were just there for everyone to see.
Wasn't it like a work outing? Like, didn't the other woman, she was also like HR at the same company or something? It was giving like work outing business trip to the Coldplay concert.
As they were wrapped around each other, like hanging over the rail. for all their neighbors and potential friends or like people in their community to potentially recognize them or see.
I will say there's a lot of misinformation coming out about this. Like even that post that claimed to be the CEO himself speaking out of like private matter on a public stage,
Oh, yeah.
that wasn't
That wasn't
real.
real.
Like so there's a lot of details that are just photoshopped of people like getting in there and making it a bigger story than it is.
Yeah. Some people have speculated who the girl was on her LinkedIn, the woman that Wells is referencing. And there's a ton of misinformation, but Andy's still going to be worth hundreds of millions of dollars when this is all said and done. So it's really hard for me.
That's his name?
Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't even aware that was his name.
The company started in 2015 and it has a valuation of $1 billion.
Okay. Well, that doesn't mean he's worth the
Severance.
company. Did he start it? Is he the founder?
Yeah. He's one of
Yeah.
the founders, yes.
One of the founders.
Mhm.
He's probably still going to be rich.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And she's HR.
He's going to step down.
You know, and if he is the founder, he can step down from CEO, but he still owns whatever amount of equity.
Shares. Yep.
Now, if the company doesn't survive this, I don't know. I feel like the company's going to thrive at
Do y'all
at this
remember
point.
the last time Coldplay was in the news this much?
No, when?
When he was getting a divorce, probably.
Like, I honestly haven't seen
Goodness.
a headline about Coldplay in years. So this is good for him.
Yeah. And well, did anyone wear white at your wedding other than Sarah?
My wife?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Okay.
No.
Hmm.
Why did someone do that to someone else?
Caitlyn Jenner wore white to her son's wedding.
Yeah.
I thought it was a very nice outfit. I think it was more of a beige. It had like a belt.
feel
It
like-
wasn't giving gown.
Yeah.
It was giving.
It doesn't
Mom
matter
dress.
if you're wearing yoga pants and a workout top. If any of that is white, you are not allowed to show up.
It's a cardinal rule.
It's
Were
a
there
cardinal
any?
rule.
You had a
That's
lot of
bad
celebrities
form.
at your wedding, Wells. Were there any like out of touch celebrity moments at your wedding that you thought anyone was like, oh, we should explain them how weddings work?
No. I do find it funny the Jenner thing because it's like that's bad form. You should know that. And it's also like, look at me, everyone. Which I think is probably on brand a little bit. No, for our wedding, everyone was pretty cool. I mean, I think we had to kind of explain to family and friends that like there will be people that you recognize. Please don't like make them feel uncomfortable. I think that the thing that shocked me the most was I thought that everyone would freak out the most with Sofia Vergara, which they did, but Shaun White was there. And like, I don't think you realize how much of like a cultural phenomenon the Flying Tomato was, where he was getting hounded, and even by like other celebrities that were there, which I thought was really interesting. And he also was really, really gracious and lovely with all of it, like understanding that like a lot of like my frat bros were like, dude, we got to get a picture and
Yeah.
being totally cool with it. But I was just shocked because I remember thinking that like everyone's going to be like oogling over Sophia, which they were, but the Flying Tomato was definitely the big hit at my wedding.
The flying. What remind me what the? I know Shaun White. What's the flying?
I
Is
don't
that
know
like a
the
trick he
Flying
did?
No, that was his nickname.
His
Flying- 'cause he
nickname
had
was the
red hair.
Flying
Because he was so
Tomato?
cold, he turned red.
Well, he has
No,
red
he
hair.
had
Red hair.
red hair. He had like a big kind of like. Am I the oldest person?
He was in my yearbook for that, yes.
I just didn't know his nickname was the Flying Tomato, and
I did not know
I'm
that
not like an
either.
X Games fanatic, but I've known
Yeah.
who Shaun White is and known who he was for some time. But I was not familiar with the Flying Tomato reference.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that's how you know you've made it when you get a nickname.
That sounds like something you'd order at In-N-Out.
I would have rather not have that be my nickname. Like if your whole life you're just like, God, I always wanted a nickname. I wanted a nickname, and people are like, I got it. It's perfect. The Flying Tomato. I would have been like, just call me Sean.
Yeah. Well, he is what he is. He is the Flying Tomato.
Okay.
Yes,
All right. Well, let's get into some Bachelor in Paradise. I first want to know, I felt like the network unnecessarily threw some shade your way. I think it was last week's episode when, was it Jill?
Yeah, Jill.
Jill was like, where's Wells? And they're like, oh, he's not working. She's like, oh, like typical. I was like, why is this guy getting fucking shrapnel here? I feel like Wells would have been happy to show up.
He's there.
He's there. He's like living down there. I don't know why you guys didn't decide to use him in this scene, but like, why are we throwing our boy Wells under the bus?
Yeah, and it was an interesting way where they put that, which I think that actually were kind of defending me in it, because on that day, I think I bartend during the day, and then I go moonlight at my other bar, which is where the double date happens.
Mhm.
So like the thought that like I'm not working on a day that I had to work 2 jobs, I think is kind of funny, but also like Jill's funny, and like I think that was a great line. Like I'm down with that, and her talking trash about me, and like I mean, to be honest with you, she is doing such a good job narrating that like if she wants to talk about me, I'm all for it.
How are you liking the new structure of Paradise? And I guess what was your thoughts like on the ground floor? Obviously, you've been a part of several Paradise seasons before, different location, different vibe. What was the process of, you and Jesse and Hannah and then the new showrunner? What did that look like? How collaborative was the new like producers with you guys, or just like how did you feel about your involvement with the season in general as it like kicked off?
I'd heard that they were going to be making some big changes and making some big swings on this new season, and I agree with ABC and Warner's decision to do so. Like I think that like the only constant in life is change, and you have to constantly keep evolving. So I was excited for like all the different changes. I went and had a meeting with Scott and his team before we went and did the show, just because I wanted to make sure like I understood what the vision was and felt comfortable going forward. And then also wanting him to understand kind of like because he doesn't come from the Bachelor world, like kind of what my role has been in the past and how I'm like best utilized and stuff. So we had a good conversation. And they showed me a lot of what the ideas were for the show, and then what the set was going to be like and what it was going to look like. I think the thing that I was most excited about was the visual aspect of it, because the show this is such like insider baseball, but like we've used the same cameras ever since the beginning, and we're super antiquated. Like they were sending back old like DVRs through someone that like courier them back. And now we have like these really cool new DJI, like I think they're called like chicken cameras that are just like really cinematic and beautiful. And so when we got there too, Scott kind of shared with me like how it was going to look, how slick it was going to be. And I was like, oh, this is cool. Because the show, has always been like really, really sexy, but I feel like you couldn't really see it with the cameras that we were using. And now I do feel like it has this like new skin that I think is really, really cool. And I like the new direction that we've gone. I think it's fun. It looks cool. And like, you can't keep doing the same thing over and over again. Eventually you have to make some moves. And I get it. Like there are parts of me that are still old school, like get off my lawn Bachelor Nation person. Like I miss the opening song a lot. Like I think that's very iconic. Like I want there to be outtakes, funny credit roll at the end.
Mhm.
I think they got that note because that they did that in this last episode. But I like all the changes. I think it looks really cool, and I think that it positions the show and the franchise to continue moving in the right direction.
Well, it's one thing we had been talking about up into this episode was just how you guys are dumping a lot of people real fast. I was surprised when the season premiered and it seemed like they didn't lead with some of their bigger stars. I mean, I do think Bachelor in Paradise has a bit of a star problem right now, but they do have a few stars that they did cast and they didn't like showcase them. And then they did bring them out, but then they sent a lot of them home. And I'm just curious, like your thoughts on, I guess the Susie and Justin of it all. How's that work? Obviously we had a chance to talk to Susie, and I was surprised because it really felt like the way it played out that like ultimately it was almost like a stunt cast where they got Susie and Justin to buy in, to come in, talk about their breakup and leave. After we got to talk to Susie, it really didn't feel like that's what it was her perspective. She seemed like she wanted to come down and really, for the first time, she's been outside of Bachelor Nation for like 4 years. She's finally coming back. There was talk about maybe her even being the Bachelorette. So I thought she was a really great cast for you guys. And then like she was there for like a half episode. I just would love to hear your perspective on just kind of just like the kind of fast paced dumping and kind of a lack of investing in some of these characters and just some of the bigger stars who have come and gone already in this season.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. And you may or may not believe this, but this new production company's theos about like producing a show is very much less hands-on than it has been in the past. And so you don't get to have both, right? Like either you have something that's happening in real time and these are real decisions that people are making, or you're overproducing something and forcing something into something.
Yeah.
Like you can't have your cake and eat it too. So the producer brain in me thinking like, you're not wrong. We lost a lot of stars that one rose ceremony and it was great TV, right? Like I was sitting on the sideline watching it being like, oh my God, what's going to happen? This is amazing television. And we're in my mind, I'm like, we're in episode 2. And then I started being like, but at what cost? We are losing a lot of really, really big names. And so I was like, this is great television, but also like, what are we going to do? And like, I can't believe Susie is gone. I can't believe Justin's gone. I can't believe that was the decision that was made. I can't believe Susie didn't accept it. Like all this stuff, but it made for really, really compelling television. And, I think that you could think that in the past, things would have been manipulated to keep people there and make it so you had all your stars there. But that would be kind of less authentic, I think. So it was what it was. I thought it was great TV. And the thing that I think it's harder to see the forest for the trees from your perspective or from the audience perspective is there is a big thing that's coming that's also going to be a big kind of like star in the show, right? And also how that works and how that changes everything. And then, these exercises that are really testing these relationships and seeing like how ironclad they are is a new and interesting wrinkle that I think a lot of people aren't thinking about, like will be really, really dramatic and will be good TV.
Do you think the money will be, how like in previous seasons, like whether it was just the threat of good intentions, right? Are you here for the right reason? When social media took off in 2016, 17, 18, 19, in some ways it's inserted into the show as a way to like challenge these people's characters. Will the money that's available for these people to win be, I guess for a lack of a better word, weaponized by the cast members against each other or the show itself to like question the intentions of these cast members, whether they're in it for the money or whether they're in it for love? And like, how messy is the money gonna like make the show in the best possible way?
I mean, the answer is like, yes, I think that, and that's the hope, right? Like, because what you're doing is you're adding stakes to these relationships, right? And that's really all you ever want to do when you're making good television is to like express what the stakes are. The stakes are huge, right? Like it's these lasting relationships, but then there's also this money that's involved. And then who's playing the game for the money? Who's playing for love? And is there anyone who's doing both? Can you do both? Like, I think that's what's super interesting about this season and what like makes me really, really excited. And like to go back to your point of like, did we just lose all our stars in episode 3? Like what happened? But then it's like, yeah, but I mean, I know what happens because I was there. Like we're going to go down a road that is going to be super dramatic. And I don't know if you needed to have big stars for that, for those fireworks to happen,
What was it like sitting front row to Jonathan and Alex's love journey?
Yeah. Okay, first of all, I love Alex. I love someone who is just so unapologetically themselves. Like, I think it's a rare thing these days. And to do it on TV, I think is very, very cool and endearing. And like, she doesn't wear makeup. She's just like quirky and nerdy and like English is her second language. So she's like, doesn't understand a lot of our sayings. And so like seeing her be awkward just in general, I think it was like amazing television. And I thought like really cute too. Jonathan was interesting because like, he's so handsome. Like, I don't get it. Like, I'm still confused. Like, I think he's got cool style. Every rose ceremony, I was like, what is this outfit? I want to dress like this. Like, how did you do this? He always looked like he was like gonna be in like a skit in West Side Story. Like I thought he looked cool. He's handsome. He's got a great smile. Like he's gregarious. He's fun to be around. I couldn't understand.
Like,
Like
he's charming too.
yeah, like I don't know why he like, he kind of got friend zoned with Jen, and it feels like he got friend zoned with Alex. And it's like, what's going on, man? We got to figure this out. But you know what? There is precedent for this. And it's funny because of who does it. This is exactly what happened to Andrew a season ago, where he came in. He thought him and Piper were going to be like this thing similar to what I think Jonathan and Alex thought they were going to be, and it just turned out to not be the thing. And then he was like kind of floundering, and he kept on saying this thing of like, I keep getting in my own way, and then we're like, we're throwing every hot chick we got at you. Like, what's going on, dude? And the same thing's happening to Jonathan this season, which I think is funny. And I say it every year, and no one ever listens to me. It's really frustrating, but like everyone comes in there with like intentions on who they want to date. And like they think that they have, pre-produced this whole thing for themselves, and it never works out. It always is a failure. The ones that work out are the ones that no one saw coming. And I think that's kind of what happened to Alex and Jonathan. I think they probably put a little bit too much, pressure on that being a thing, and then not allowing themselves to like explore elsewhere. But I will say that the relationship now with Alex and Andrew is like the cutest thing in the world. And like, I love Andrew because I've already filmed a show with him, and he's just like a really like positive vibes guy. But then seeing him with like this like really lovely nerd is like chef's kiss. Like I love them so much.
The last time we saw Andrew, we were at the Hulu Get Real event, and I had River with me, and he like turned around and saw River and like went, ah, like started like screaming out of excitement, and River just started sobbing. He was like, I'm so sorry. The most Andrew thing ever.
What do you make of Dale and Kat? I mean, our read is she had her first season. There was some drama.
Mhm.
There was some speculation on crazy. And she's come back to say, no, this is who
There
I
shouldn't
am.
be speculation.
There's no speculation.
Accept me for what I am.
I wear my emotions on my sleeve. And
like you being like, look, you don't even have hives. And she was like, oh, I had them an hour ago. Or whatever.
like she just, in the best possible way, she's really
great.
owned who she is. She's excellent.
Yeah, kind of going back to the Alex of it all. Like I love Kat. I know that she can be polarizing to the audience, but like she's so authentically herself, and like nothing will change that. And I think that that's really cool. And she knows that she's coming across as like a little wacko when she's like freaking out on the boat and like bugs and everything. And she still is like, this is who I am. And so I appreciate her for that. She's also just like a fantastic TV maker. Like when I sit back and watch, I'm like, God bless you. You're so very good at this. Like that scene where she's talking to Dale, and Dale says, you are reminding me of my ex,
Claire.
Mhm.
And like her response is amazing. Like no notes, 10 out of 10, like fantastic response. But then also like,
what was her response
the
again?
way
Remind me.
she was just like, it was just like a
It was
facial
like,
expression.
excuse-
So she really didn't even do anything other than like, what? And it was just like, it was perfect. But him saying that had so much weight because we all know who he's talking about.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
we remember when she was talking to raccoons in paradise, like, so to equate Kat to this person was wild. And obviously I wasn't there for that. So I didn't know that happened. So I watched it with you, being just like, oh my God, I can't believe he said that. Now in Dale's defense, because of his background and having this whirlwind relationship with Claire and not really getting the normal experience that myself and Nick, you had on The Bachelorette, he came in there very much like options open, not getting engaged, not going to happen, want to date around, just want to have a good time. And that was very well known. And Kat knew that. And so in his defense, he wasn't doing anything that he didn't say he was going to do. And then also in Dale's defense, we're in day like 5, or 6. I mean, it says day 8, but like, I think when he makes out with Allie Joe, it's pretty early on. So, I give him a little bit of grace for that. Now, the way that he responded to it, I think is not awesome. If anyone says the word deaded one more time, I'm going to deaded myself off the show.
Did he make that up? Is that like a verb?
No,
I've heard it before, but like not used that many times in one evening.
Also, he is not like a Gen Z person that would, like, that's like him saying like, this is mid or Riz or something. Where you're like, you're too old to do this. I don't think this works.
It doesn't work.
Like Dale saying period 15 times during a conversation with us. Period. Yeah. Like, it's kind of fun once in a while to throw it around. But.
Well, then Kat even made a joke about it. She was like, if I hear you say, as long as you don't say deaded it again, we'll be good. And he like didn't. It went right over his head. He was just like, but I did. I deaded it.
He got mad.
Yeah.
Stepping away from like breaking down their actual fight, I thought it was really interesting. And this is a little maybe BTS. And I'm curious if there was like a specific intentional creative choice. Part of Dale's whole hang up of this whole interaction was, why are you bringing it up now? Why are you bringing it up right before or in the middle of like a cocktail party roast, or right before a roast ceremony in the middle of a cocktail party, whatever. And I'm watching it and then thinking, well, normally how they do these days is they sequester men and the women and leading into a cocktail party to like save all the things that people want to get off their chest, to make sure that it happens during a cocktail party, and then obviously drama ensues, and then you have your rose ceremony, as Jesse always like walks in and said, all right, well, now that you're trying to get to the bottom of something, it's time for the rose ceremony. And then like end of show, here you guys very like a la Love Island, where like there was a rose ceremony in the middle of an episode, and then you saw the conversations and the night continue in the same outfits and the same vibe, following the rose ceremony, which I don't think we've ever seen before, which I really enjoyed that wrinkle. But like, how did the show come up with that decision to do that? Because that's a very, very different beat and a very different way of producing this show that's different than anything they've ever done before, which to your point, I think, the old way, that's more hands-on, controlling, making sure people are separated, making sure conversations aren't happening. How'd that all like play out?
Yeah. So that was not the case this season, right? Like there was no sequestering on rose ceremony days. And I remember when like the first one happened and I'm like, you're letting them hang out? Like, what are you talking? Do we have cameras on them? Don't you want this for tonight? And I think that is, again, that's like a testament to like this new production company and Scott's vision of like, let it happen naturally. Like if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I think that I wonder if Dale's concern or like, why are you doing this now, is still rooted in like an old guard of production, thinking that maybe she's just doing this to cause drama on a night that like you're looking for drama. I think that she was just being honest. Like she was just annoyed by it. And also like his response to it. I think he could have done it a lot better than he did. And then also being like, well, we come from different, backgrounds and stuff. Like, yeah, of course everyone does. Yeah.
Like, what does that even mean?
What are you talking about?
Well,
like, unless
to your point,
your sister, of course you've come, you come from different backgrounds.
His response to everything that Kat said was like just dismissing it entirely, which is like either it was old news, I deaded it, or like we just have a way of handling it. He never like dealt with the actual issue, which is regardless of when or how it happened, like I just wanted to know, and I just would love a heads up and just kind of want to make sure that whether we're 2 weeks in, 7 days in, 24 hours in, that we're on the same page, which despite like Kat's, eccentricities, or that's a very rational request from Kat.
Totally. I was watching the show with my wife last night, and I had this like kind of epiphany. I was like, look, I know why I'm not on this show anymore, and I know why they are. As like a married man, you realize sometimes, and a lot of time, your partner, women want to be heard, and you can see that. Like, I'm not sure if Kat's like really angry that he made out with Ally Joe. I think what she's angry is that he's not hearing her. Mm-hmm. And he's like being defensive. And I think that if he had just been like, I totally hear where you're coming from. I can't change the past. Things have changed, but I totally understand where you're coming from. And I would like to move forward. I think things would have been a lot better.
Yeah. Like, yeah, when we do that in relationships, I don't think she was looking to start a fight. I think she was looking for clarity. For your point, is this like, it's early in the relationship. The whole premises of the show, you're dating, but you're not dating. It's just like modern dating where it's just like, like, we're exclusive, we're not exclusive, but we're dating, but we're not really seeing other people. Like, what's going on? So this was Kat's way of checking in. What's going on? And then she wanted to feel validated. She wanted to like have some clarity, downplay the kiss, or acknowledge like her expectations of communication. And instead of offering like clarity or some type of validation about his feelings towards Kat, it was just more like, yeah, it was kind of gaslighty in a way.
Yeah, I mean, I think that they are both right and they're both wrong. Like that's kind of how I read it. I think that she's a little more right than he was.
What did he say when she was like, if I hadn't have asked you, what I just would have like watched this back? And he was like, no, I would have told you. And
he's like, there would have been a time.
Yeah, there would have for sure. I would have
like the CEO of Astronomer. He's just like, I just like for sure, I would definitely going to tell you. Like just it, as long as it could happen organically, like. This hasn't happened organically yet. That was Dale's reasoning. It was great. I wonder when you thought that organic time was going to happen.
Yeah, on a tell-all.
We do have April and Jonathan together now. A little age gappy.
I know the December-May relationship that I don't know if anyone wants.
So what? Yeah, like Wells, like set the record straight here. You and Jesse have been teasing age gaps. I don't know.
Yeah,
is that a real thing here? I did say on the record last week that if April fucks Jonathan, I'm actually cool with that.
He's beautiful, by the way.
I don't know if I need to see any of like Keith, flirting with Jill. I don't need that. Like we're good there.
April gets the pass. Though.
But April gets the pass. Yeah. But like is that really truly a hands-off situation? Like the rest of you're suggesting this shows how it's being produced, or did we have a little fun there?
I think that the cast is having fun. I'm not sure if this is like any directive of like, you got to go after Jonathan. I think that first of all the Golden Girls thought that Jonathan was like the cat's meow, to put it in like the parlance.
Yeah, that's
there.
what Kathy said. Kathy was
like they all think that he is because like I think that they see like the West Side Story guy that come, like he is that like kind of classic heritage good look. So like I'm not surprised that April feels this way about him, but I think that they were having like a little bit of fun. I the world being up in arms that like there's going to be, like a Bill Belichick situation happening on Paradise. I think we can kind of close that chapter. That's not a real thing, but it's a fun dialogue and it gets people talking and stuff. My thing about April that I was disappointed in, and I told them this, she would come to the bar a lot and say, if I can't find love, I want to give the opportunity to one of these young kids. Like they deserve to find love. I've had my life, and she started kind of like telegraphing what she was going to do with like kind of saving Jonathan. And I remember being like, I think that's a terrible decision. You're the one who's running out of time, like these dumb idiots with six packs have plenty of time to find someone.
Are you reminding April that death's at her door? Like,
I'm just saying she deserves love just as much as Jonathan does. So
please tell me you didn't tell April she's running out of time.
She's dying.
Listen,
you could be dead next week.
We're all marching towards the end.
All right, we are.
But I mean, that was more of a joke, but sure. I honestly was like, you guys deserve this. I don't understand why you think that these young kids who have like everything ahead of them deserve it any more than you. And honestly, like I thought that their stories were so much more compelling. Like when they got to the beach, you don't understand. It was a tough night before with the Susie of it all, but like morale was at an all-time low that day. And then the Goldens come in and it was like this shot of energy and steroids into everyone. And all of a sudden it changed like the entire thing. And so like, God bless them for coming. I wish that, I think it's a logistical problem in terms of casting because there hasn't been as many seasons of the Golden Bachelor and Golden Bachelorette. So you can't have as many people there. Not as many people are like available for it. But like as this kind of continues on and rolls down the street, I hope that like we build a bigger cast for the Goldens because to be honest with you, I thought their story was almost more compelling than the Youngs was.
Okay.
Do you know if Jeremy ever told Bailey about his cry for Susie?
Yeah, he had a full-on meltdown, and then like the next episode, he's like, you know what?
I'm good.
Yeah, like
Okay.
Susie Smooshy.
He also told Alex that he did that, and Alex is best friends with Bailey, and she hasn't said anything either.
Or maybe it was said and we just didn't get to see it, or we just kind of like that was that an editing? Like, let's just pretend that didn't happen. Like, or will that be brought up maybe in future episodes?
I think that's going to be a storyline coming up. And I agree with you. I think that I remember being like, you guys aren't being much of girls here. Like, we know that this happened and no one's telling. Like, I don't know how I feel about that. So yeah, I think that that's going to be something that happens going forward. And I think that that's something that does need to be kind of resolved.
Well, I think someone needs to reclaim the phrase girls, because I think it really is under attack right now. Because after Love Island, after Bachelor in Paradise,
Nobody really knows.
Summer
what it
House,
means.
no one really knows what girls means anymore.
I think that like being someone that tells your girlfriend like, hey, this guy's calling another chick in an interview room. Just
is it related to just your core of friends? I don't know. Or is it just like women in general? Like, it's hard to say,
Yeah, that's fair.
It's hard to say.
That's fair.
All right. Well, appreciate you taking the time, buddy. Always great to see you on our TV. Where can the people find you if they want more Wells Adams?
Yep. Let's see. Monday nights on ABC, 8:00. Please watch Bachelor in Paradise. That's great. Stream the next day on Hulu would be fantastic. I'm on Instagram and all that stuff at Wells Adams. And yeah, I do my podcast that I do with Brandy Cyrus, YFT. We've been recapping these episodes. So if you want to kind of hear a little bit more BTS stuff, I definitely go into that at that podcast. And I think you guys will enjoy this. I'm about to start a new podcast. That's going to be all about traders, and I'm doing it with Dolores and Tamara. So people who have been on the show. So we're gonna start by watching old seasons and breaking them down. Then obviously when new seasons come on, we'll be talking about it and having current cast members on and stuff.
God, that sounds so fun.
You guys thought you'd get rid of me from the turret, but nope, that's not the case. I'm still talking about the show that I was on for 13 minutes.
What a great group of people.
Yeah.
That sounds fun.
Well, always a pleasure, buddy. Come back soon. Thanks for taking the time, and we will talk to you later, bud.
Well, y'all know that I am not into chasing trends, but I am all about the stuff that fits right, feels good, and actually lasts. That's why I keep coming back to Quince. Their lightweight layers and high-quality staples have become my everyday essentials. Quince has the kind of stuff you'll actually want to wear on repeat, like breathable flow knit polos, crisp cotton shirts, and comfortable lightweight pants that somehow work for both weekend hangs and dressed-up dinners. There's so many pieces at Quince that I'm obsessed with that are my everyday staples. They have an amazing linen collection for summer. For fall, they have $50 cashmere knit sweaters that are so good. Honestly, everything at Quince is really great. They have amazing luggage. You can't go wrong with anything at Quince. The best part, everything with Quince is half the cost of similar brands.
Ladies out there, be sure to make sure that when you're shopping for yourself, you're also looking for something nice for your man. He will appreciate it. Quince's lineup of all their linen apparel is something that all the men in your life need, especially during the hot summer. They will look great, and thank you for it. Stick to the staples that last with elevated essentials from Quince. Go to quince.com/VIALL for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's Quince, QUINCE.com/VIALL to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/VIALL. All right. Well, we all know that we're in the middle of summer. You've heard Natalie and I talk about our beautiful teak outdoor dining table that we got from Wayfair. If you are looking to upgrade your outdoor space, look no further than Wayfair. Whether it's a cookout area, patio tables, grills, dishwashers, dishware, gazebos, hot tubs, they really have it all. I mean, if you thought about it, Wayfair has it. Also, doesn't matter if it's the outdoor space. Our studios, we are relying on Wayfair as well for some of the furniture we have in our studio. Every room in your house can be upgraded with Wayfair. Wayfair's huge selection of outdoor items make it easy to find exactly what's right for you. Truly, anything that you can think of, Wayfair has it for you to make your outdoor space the talk of your neighborhood. Find all the outdoor must-haves from seating to garden trestles to pool lounges to trampolines, all in one convenient place. Shop outdoor furniture, grills, lawn games, and way more for way less. Head to wayfair.com right now and shop a huge outdoor selection. That's WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair, every style, every home. Always good to hear from our buddy Wells. What do you guys think about the things he had to say? It sounds like the money issue is gonna. They're really banking on the drama from the money.
I feel like it's giving a little Survivor-esque.
Did you see the teaser for the next week? I was like, it does look like all of a sudden like things get very turned up, and it's like now we're gonna get some real challenges between like the couples, and it matters how well they know each other.
Honestly,
so
$500,000 for some of these people.
That's life-changing.
A lot of money.
Honestly, though, like, thank God we're getting into something else. Because I was like, if all we're doing this entire season is sitting at this resort and, like, seeing nothing and, like, random dates. And then I was like, is that what's been happening the last, like, for the last however many seasons of Paradise? We've just been watching people, like, sit on a beach.
It's like 6 weeks in a row. Jesse's always like, I got something for you. Like, what could it be? It's like, it's
another date card.
It's a card in the back of my pocket that has a picture on it. That's, you know.
They're like, this is fun. This is nice that they're doing something new.
Wait, that's so true, because they didn't do challenges or like any activities. They literally would just be like sitting on a day bed, eating a pizza, and I was locked in.
But it was always so entertaining still. Like I was never bored, I'm not gonna lie.
Like,
it
was low
Bachelor
stakes,
in Paradise has always been great to me. But I am excited. I mean, it does bring back like that bachelor pad feeling. What you remember when they were like in a cabin in snow?
Winter Games?
Yeah, Winter Games.
I never saw Winter
I love
Games.
that kind of stuff. You didn't?
No.
Ashley I was on Winter Games.
No, Ben was on.
That was fun. But no, I'm excited for them to spice things up. I do hope they bring in some more golden men, because it's just way too outnumbered.
I'm really sad about RJ going. I really liked him.
Yeah.
The playmate,
Yeah.
he was chill, and he seemed to
Jack
like
too.
I really liked him. And I just feel like we've loved the other Goldens, you know? Keith and our catering friend who went home. Jack, and then who got the rose instead of RJ, dancing guy?
Gary.
It's like Jack, Gary, and Keith. I feel like they've been like the golden men who have done all the rounds. We've really gotten to know them. And Gary seems like a really lovely guy. I get it. Like, I get why he's there. He's great TV. But like, I was kind of like, oh, this RJ guy, he's interesting. We didn't get to see much about him, you know, from whatever season he was on. And okay, he's got this playmate backstory, and then he was gone. And they gave the rose to Gary, which we've seen a ton of times.
Him and Natasha were having a good connection, and then she just, without a conversation, just chose Gary.
Yeah. Well, Gary was going to get a rose either way, so
yeah, Gary was, and then Leslie chose Kim, and then he wrote her a poem,
but she was just literally like, I feel nothing for this man. And I was like, you could throw the rose to anybody and see if you have a chance.
He just seems like every episode it's a new ick unleashed.
He was the one who gave us the Bachelor, the golden
song,
the
Sailor song.
What was it called? The Mansion Men.
Oh yeah,
we are the Mansion Men.
Yep. He is a talented individual, isn't he?
And he shot down April. Yeah.
Well, that's Bachelor in Paradise. To get into some rapid recaps, we have the Real Housewives of Miami. It is party time, girls. All the ladies are dressed in Greek goddess Percy Jackson, the house down boots. But Alexia says the real theme of the party is the narcissism in all of the girls, not just Todd. But also, it's about the narcissism of Todd. Exactly. They play a game called Who Has the Most Red Flags, and Lisa is playing to win. The winner gets to cry in a bathroom? ? Aw, sorry, girl. Also, Gertie tried to ignore her feud with Julia by being the ref to Lisa and Larsa, but like any WNBA player can tell you, the refs are not on your side. Gertie might get benched for that one. After the party, Julia thinks it's time to introduce her boys to the girls. It's also revealed that Stephanie Sojay was raised like a boy, so she's a businesswoman. Okay, ally. Gertie and Russell go to couples therapy. We love a healthy couple. Lisa says she may be a narcissist, but Larsa is in fact a narcissist. They agree to communicate, and we'll see. Overall, do we think the Lisa-Larsa truce will last? Will Gertie ever meet Captain Sandy? Will Marisol ever drink water? Tune in next week to find out on The Real Housewives of Miami. Great job, Mary.
Thank you.
Watching all of these women at a party about narcissism make this about themselves was You had Lisa doing a photo shoot, not reading the signs.
Not reading the signs. Also, just the whole thing where Alexia was like, "This is a goddess party," and then everyone like looked in the mirror and was like, "No, this is about Todd," and she was like, "No, this is about all of us," and then everyone was like, "No, this is about Todd."
Yeah.
Yeah, basically, with I mean, it's just the world in general, but now narcissism just means someone who like didn't like validate your feelings the way you expected them to, and that makes basically everyone else a narcissist.
Yeah, I'm still confused on how the Greek goddess to like Narcissus, like the staring in the mirror, like myth. Okay,
That's the theme, but like that's not how this was executed. And it's like
It
women
shows
leaving
the
in
best.
tears.
Is the party theme ever correctly executed in Housewives, though?
no.
I'm still thinking, what was
Never.
the art one from Beverly Hills?
Oh, was it Dali?
It was like realism.
It was
surrealism.
surrealism.
There it is.
Surrealism.
Yeah, that one was a miss.
Mhm.
That was such a
Ugh.
miss.
Watching
Yeah.
Gertie try to conflict mediate
And I was like,
between
dirty.
Larsa and Lisa, and they're both being like, leave, we got it, we're
Mhm.
good. And she's like, no. What she's saying, and repeats exactly what was being said. And then at the end, she's like, I did my job. You're
So
welcome. And I was
dirty.
like, this party.
Girl, you did not do your
So
job.
Everyone missed the point of this party.
Literally. Like, I almost felt bad for Lisa, and then I didn't.
It was a weird moment when Adriana was making the point that she was like, all of you women have no empathy for the fact that she just lost her father, and you guys are all attacking her. Everyone kept putting their little
Yeah.
red flags in her vase, and I was like, you know what? Like, just mix it up a little bit. But then they're like, oh, I'm so sorry, monkey. Like, as she's sobbing in a bathroom, I'm just like, it's a bit too much.
It is a bit much.
Focus on Todd and Alexia.
Yeah. The way Stephanie Sojay was just like, yeah, my father raised me as a boy, so therefore I am good at business.
Yep.
But then also,
Okay.
it's just exactly. I was like, okay, Stephanie, let's
also,
go.
like, so
Doesn't that kind of sound a little misogynistic in a
it's
way?
giving.
Like-
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
But give me more.
It's like, I'm going to say something very women empowering. My dad, I'm good at business because he raised me to be a boy.
Yeah.
Like,
Tough
okay.
love.
Yeah.
And then the dinner between her husband and her parents, where I'm going to say Stephanie Sojay is the MVP of this season.
love
I very
her.
much enjoy her every single time she's on my television. She does not back down whatsoever. But the way I wish I were a fly on the wall the day that Stephanie brought her future husband home to meet her dad, and her husband's 2 years younger than her father. So they did not get along when they initially met, and now they're like best friends, texting, they're FaceTiming all the time, going golfing, and I'm just like, the way I would just love to see that relationship blossom.
Yeah.
And they're like, the only thing we have in common is little Stephanie.
Wow.
We also had Orange County, second episode. Did y'all see what Gretchen
Mhm.
Rossi said about her feud with Tamra?
What did she say?
It's Gretchen being Gretchen. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And she posted a little clip from their scene at the hot pot dinner and says, "Dear receipts, thank you for always being on my side." Swipe left. You always try to spin and manipulate something to fit your narrative. Nice try. It didn't work. Is this how we are starting off this season? Me catching you in your lies? Who's the liar now? Oh, that's right. Guess we'll have to wait for the lie detector test to see who fails some questions. P.S. Thanks for reaching out, Jen. So happy we have become such good friends. This sounds like an intro to Gossip Girl.
I was
Oh my
just gonna say,
God.
I was literally just gonna say you sound like Gossip Girl. I'm rewatching from the start again, and that was
It's giving like Pretty
That
Little
was Gossip Girl.
Liars, Gossip Girl. Like,
You got to read the
Mhm.
hashtags like it.
oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Hashtag, sorry, not sorry. Hashtag, I'm not scared. Okay, Gretchen.
Oh my God. Good for
said-
you for not being
Well, after
scared
like
of
one
Tamra
episode
Judge.
of Tamra being like, I'm in therapy, like new me, like I'm calm, I'm zen, no drama. Like this episode, it's like, oh, we're back.
You bring in her biggest op.
Well, let's give a little rapid recap of Orange County. The girls start off doing one of those typical Californian mom workouts where you just sit and let a machine do all the work. In other words, we're so back. Emily, Tamra, and Gina are all mad that Shannon defended Katie. Shannon reveals that she hasn't had a bikini wax recently, but regardless, Katie appreciates her support in the blogger situation. But plot twist, because allegedly Katie was recording Shannon crashing out last season and showed it to Alexis. It's so confusing sometimes being a girl. Meanwhile, Gretchen has returned, and what has she brought with her? A claim of no plastic surgery and a sniper with a barrel pointed right between Tamra Judge's eyes. Also, speaking of Tamra, she thinks Jen is trying to the substance her or something like that. Then later, a Katie's hot pot. Gina drops the Katie recording bomb, and the alliance with Shannon does not make it to the bunker. Then Gretchen pops off at Tamra because she called Slade a deadbeat dad on the podcast. We've got an unstoppable force versus an immovable object, ladies. Overall, who will survive, Gretchen or Tamra? Is Emily going to eat the egg she stole? Will Shannon find a man? Tune in next week to find out on the Real Housewives of Orange County.
I'm foreshadowing a waxing episode.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Shannon having to get back in the scene is a very funny storyline for her to have after like how dark it was last season.
I'm
everyone
for
was
a
like,
Shannon dating.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's
season.
great. It's just really funny, like the whiplash I'm having.
It was funny watching Jen being like, oh, I'd never heard of this. And then Katie being like, no, you remember I showed you the video. And then her being like, I've never seen the video. And all the women being like, but Katie just said, it's like, do we believe Katie or do we not believe Katie? Because y'all haven't believed Katie the whole time up until now.
I don't know.
I think what's very clear about Katie is she doesn't see her relationship with the bloggers to be as toxic as I feel like many of the women feel it is. And I think there's this level of like, what's the big deal, guys?
Also calling them on Instagram, crazy.
That's psycho behavior. A phone call from Instagram
Has anybody
is
done that?
psycho behavior.
No, you know what's crazy is Nick, I don't know what happened the other day, but you know when you like swipe over on your phone and you like have the search bar at the top and it'll bring up like whatever?
Yeah.
So I don't know if he had typed something or if River had typed something. I don't know. But what I saw was it was like a LD that was like typed in the thing. And then it comes up in contacts, Lana Del Rey. And I was like, do you have Lana Del Rey's number? And he's like, what? And I'm like, she's in your contacts. Like, do you have her number? Turns out it was just from Nick sending Lana his number in the DMs. And it just like, I don't know how the phoned, but
Yeah,
like put
it made it seem like my phone decided to put Lana Del Rey in my contacts, even though I do not have her
So what
contact.
is there?
evil.
Just
if
her
you called
name?
it, what happened?
Do you have her email?
But her number wasn't there, correct? Like it
No, I like went to click it and it was like Instagram call or Instagram like
DM.
FaceTime or something.
Oh, it was
And I
just like it was just
oh, okay.
holding the spot for her number in the future. It's manifesting.
Yeah, your
Yeah,
phone's
Lana
like,
Del Rey's
listen,
phone
like
number.
we can call her on Instagram if you want. We'll just put her in your contacts if you want. Just
No,
like let us know
no.
if you want to be a
Can you
psychopath and call
please
Lana Del
Try
Rey
to
from
call her
Instagram.
on Instagram.
Yeah.
That is so messy of Instagram though to like put that in your contacts as if like it's like capital L, capital D, capital R, as if like Nick put that in there himself is crazy.
It was in there. I was like, I do not like I
Nick
don't
doesn't
not,
save numbers.
like what's
It
going
seems
on?
like
I don't-
something
Why
you
would
would
I lie about
remember.
this?
Can you just call anybody on Instagram then?
Yeah.
Like,
I think it's like
Is it a
either if
setting?
you follow each other, you can call them, or like if they don't follow you or you like accept a DM into like your primary, I think they can call you.
Data rates do
Whoa.
apply?
I don't know.
Yeah,
It might be a Wi-Fi situation.
It's a weird
knows?
violation.
It's weird. It's a weird.
It is
violation.
weird. So yeah, if you're calling people on Instagram, don't do that.
Katie.
maybe that's
Maybe-
going to be a new thing.
So she's just calling and having
Katie?
chats with bloggers.
I guess so. She's getting the tea. And then Gretchen Rossi doing her, it is not the same.
Say.
Oh,
Yeah.
Tamra,
It was so good.
okay, evil.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Like, I love these women.
I could watch the two of them spar for hours.
Ugh.
Like,
Yeah, well, in the way Tamra was always like when they were talking about the deadbeat dad situation, same with Tamra was like, is he not? But is he not? And she
Yeah.
always like, I mean,
yeah, it's like,
she like
but
makes the other person like make their argument of why what Tamra said was so offensive because Tamra does such a great job of just being like,
is he not?
did
He's like, no, of course he's not.
did
It's
I
like, oh,
misspeak? I'm sorry.
sorry, then why are you still trying to convince me
Yeah,
of
I-
that 12 years later?
It's.
mhm.
I mean, it's.
She's good.
She's great.
Great television. Should we get into Luke?
Yeah. Well, we have Beyond the Villa. I think we're going to save that mostly for Thursday's episode.
I did love Janae's mediation at the end with Kayla and Liv because it's just like Janae's just like, I'm going to play big sister here. Like, you two need to stop fighting. This is silly.
It's
Like,
silly.
can we just figure this shit out? Like, she took a camera.
The
She,
camera.
like, listen, I get it. Kayla seems to have some, trust issues. And I think Liv lying was weird. Like, I get Kaylor kind of being like, I don't know how I can move on and trust this person anymore.
Like, it's not that serious, but I also get that where it's just like you would lie about something so stupid and come up with a backstory for it. So it's like, how do I believe anything else that you say? Or how do I know that you're not trying to sabotage me behind my back? Kind of hard to have a trusting friendship with somebody like
Leia and
that.
Sierra, when you are watching reality TV and you see men lifting weights, do you immediately ask your partners if they are strong enough to lift those weights?
No, I don't. What did something happen?
Kind of crazy. You didn't ask
I feel
me.
like this is a very pointed question because no, I was not watching.
Well, Mary, I don't want to leave you out. Do you ask
Danny
any
doesn't
of
go to
your
the
partners if they also can lift?
No.
Wait,
No,
what
I
happened?
watched TV with my cat, George
Why do you
Michael.
ask?
Aaron was just
Specifically.
struggling, and so I was like, "Oh, Nick, can you lift that?" And he
Well,
was
first
like,
I thought they had
can't.
245 plates on each side, which is 225 pounds on if for anyone who gives a shit about that stuff. 245 plates on each side plus a 45-pound dumbbell. It's a lot of weight. I used to be able to lift that amount, and
He was like, maybe 2, and I was
I
like, so
thought-
you couldn't do any more
Turns
than
out
Aaron could? Nick's
turns
like,
out
he's
the
like
plates on the outside were only
25.
25 pounds. But before I thought, I was like, I don't know, maybe I'm not sure if I could do that. And Natalie was literally looked at me like, that's disgusting.
You know,
Yeah.
I just was like curious if he could lift more than Aaron could, and
That was the bar. If I couldn't lift as much as Aaron,
So
You're
wait, how much
donezo.
weight was it?
I believe it was 135 plus 25, 185 pounds.
I couldn't have done that, but true story. When I see two men working out and somebody says, "Well,
I fast forward.
I'm going for 8, but I'll probably hit 12," I just black out. I'm just like, I'm no longer interested.
Natalie
in
wants to know if
whatever
her,
is
or if
happening.
her husband can lift as much as a guy that
Aaron.
gave her the ick on television.
I'm just checking. It was just like a wellness check, you know, popping
Mhm.
in.
I'm just looking out.
Did we get to Luke?
Next up, we have Luke from the Valley to talk about being a new dad, this current season of the Dark, Dark Valley, and his thoughts on the men from the season. We did do this interview with Luke prior to the announcement that Jax Taylor wasn't returning. So for context, that wasn't part of the discussion. Certainly, we talk about Jax Taylor, his behavior, and the rest of the men that Luke constantly is filming with. I think it's a very great conversation. I'm sure you will all enjoy. And that is up next.
All right, cat parents, if you're serious about keeping your home clean, you've got to do it with Pretty Litter. You don't have to choose between fresh house and a healthy cat. The litter is practically magic. It's low dust, controls odor, and lasts up to a whole month. But the best part, it monitors your cat's health every time they use the box. Pretty Litter helps monitor your cat's health, detecting abnormalities in your cat's urine by testing acidity and alkalinity levels and showing the visible presence of blood. Pretty Litter ships right to your door. It's non-toxic, pet safe, and household friendly.
We found out about Pretty Litter from our friend who is a devoted cat parent herself, and she
Shameless.
told us about how Pretty Litter changed the life of not only herself, but her cat, because they have so many benefits. Formulated with silica gel crystals that are safe for cats and people alike, advanced odor control means your home smells like home and not a litter box. The ultra-absorbent formula uses less material than clay litter, reducing waste and saving money, ideal for apartments, busy lifestyles, or multiple cat households.
Right now, save 20% off on your first order and get a free cat toy at prettylitter.com/VIALL. That's prettylitter.com/VIALL to save 20% off your first order and get a free cat toy. prettylitter.com/VIALL. Pretty Litter cannot detect every feline health issue or prevent or diagnose diseases. A diagnosis can only come from a licensed veterinarian. Terms and conditions apply. See site for details.
If you are serious about fueling your body with the best, look no further than ButcherBox, because it has clean, high-quality protein without the junk. As someone who loves to grill and is cooking, cooking with meat every day, I am a huge fan of ButcherBox. I am very picky and particular about the quality of the foods I am cooking with. ButcherBox is part of my arsenal to get the highest quality meats. What I love about it is that, more than anything, the quality of the product that they're shipping, but also that they ship it right to you. Sometimes, I like to, if I'm visiting friends, sometimes I'll make sure that they have ButcherBox sent to them. You can get it anywhere you're at. Also, it's just incredibly convenient. It ships right to your door. You can customize your orders. You can start it at any time. As a certified B Corp, ButcherBox is committed to the highest standards, from how the animals are raised to how the team supports workers and reduces environmental impact. Whether you're feeding a growing family or trying to eat clean without the stress, ButcherBox offers curated or fully customizable plans that fit your schedule and your preferences. Plus, every box ships free always and includes member-only perks like recipe inspiration, tips, and exclusive deals to help you make the most of every meal. ButcherBox delivers better meat and seafood straight to your door, including 100% grass-fed beef, free-range organic chicken, pork raised crate-free, and wild-caught seafood. Right now, ButcherBox is offering our listeners $20 off their first box and free protein for a year. Go to butcherbox.com/VIALL to get this limited time offer and free shipping always. That's butcherbox.com/VIALL. Don't forget to use our link so they know we sent you. Mr. 13%.
What's that mean?
Your sperm.
Oh.
That did air.
Okay.
Was that nerve-wracking going in? I don't like to do that stuff. I don't want to know about my body.
No.
I mean, I do.
They give more details than just, the one mark that was below whatever threshold that they gave this time in the next episode.
I feel like it's your body, your choice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I guess. No, honestly, the whole sperm thing, Kristen was like, I know you're fine. Don't even get tested. I think in her head, she's like, then I'll know for sure it's on me.
Yeah.
And she, mentally didn't want to have to go there.
Okay.
Bravo does like keeping in those sperm test results because, I know
Yeah,
far
they
too much
do.
about Tom Schwartz's and that he's got 2 heads on his. And why do I know that?
They do love a good sperm. Didn't
Sandoval. Yep. They all get
no,
theirs.
also Craig. Didn't Craig do it?
Oh yeah, Craig froze his.
Oh, Craig froze
in case he
his.
gets into
Oh
a
no,
car accident.
Kyle Summerhouse.
Also, yeah,
He
Kyle
got
is like my
his.
supreme
Yeah, there's a
results.
lot of. Well, Luke, welcome to the show.
Thanks. Good to see you guys.
How do you feel about being the best looking guy on the Valley?
The best looking.
I think so.
I haven't heard that take, but thank you.
You haven't?
No.
You definitely
The
are.
best looking,
The
one that can
best.
fix a car, the one that can set up a tent.
Well,
best
I-
morals.
As someone who's at least I've met all these people. I mean, I haven't met Jesse Lawley. I've seen him at an event once. So I've seen these people in person. You're the best looking.
Well, thank you.
I don't know where Bravo Nation stands, but if they don't think you are, they're wrong.
I mean, and
Fair.
honestly, Kristen did deserve the best looking man. You
Facts.
know,
Yeah.
so it only makes sense that that's how the cards folded.
How do you, is dad life treating you well?
We're in the early stages where it's a lot of work with minimal reward in the first month. I feel like she just turned a month old and it's a lot of eating, pooping,
Mhm.
and not enough sleeping.
But
in my
doesn't
opinion.
she smell so good?
That's, I mean,
Like
I
the
guess.
newborn baby smell? You're not like.
He's
I
not
remember
smelling
Nick
your
and I
I'm
were
not.
like, "Oh my god, we're
I'm-
addicted."
I'm not huffing Kaya.
You're not huffing,
No.
okay?
I mean, I was definitely smelling River.
We were-
I mean, she did.
yeah,
She doesn't
were.
smell bad, but she farts a lot. So,
She's
that's-
a little gassy.
yeah.
We're begrudgingly getting up in the middle of the night. You're not enjoying it.
Well, okay. So we haven't really figured out a full routine yet because the idea was Kristen goes to bed around like 9 or 10, sleeps 5-6 hours. Then I go to bed and she gets up and takes the rest of the time. The problem is she can't go to bed that early a lot of times because I'm up. She wants to hang out with me. And if Kaya falls asleep, then she's like, this is our time. I'm like, but then you're going to fall asleep at midnight and I want my shift to be over before 5 a.m. And
What did we do that made it like not that hard?
I was pumping putting it in bottles. Is she fully breastfeeding, or are y'all doing formula?
formula and pumping.
Formula and
Yeah,
pumping.
I don't-
Okay, so you are able to like
Yeah.
do the any types of feeds. I don't remember, honestly. I mean, God, that time feels like such a haze. But I feel like we were just. I mean, she was in the room with us.
She was in the room with us.
She was in the room with us.
She was very close by.
Yes, she was very close by. But I don't remember what we did that. But looking back, it doesn't feel as hard as I'm sure in the moment it was.
I think I'll get to that point.
Yeah.
I mean, right now it is.
But you're definitely not in the. I'm just here with my beautiful baby, and like, what else could be?
There are those times, but honestly, Kristen. So our setup, we have a snoo. You know what the snoo is,
Yeah,
right?
shout out
it's,
snoo.
it's right next to her side of the bed,
Mhm.
in the king size bed, and I've always only had about 10% of the bed, so I'm all the way over here, and she always wakes up first, and so she is sleeping less than me and wakes up upset that I'm still asleep a number of times, and then it turns into this thing.
You
and
gotta
I'm
get
like,
up.
give
Yeah,
her
if she's
to me.
up, you gotta get
Oh,
up.
I do.
Yeah.
And that's why she sleeps in the living room with me when I really don't want Kristen to wake up.
Okay.
Okay, so y'all are figuring it out.
We're figuring it out. Yeah, it's not smooth sailing yet.
I feel like the second that Kaya like smiles at you, you'll be like, oh God, yeah, all right, I'm good. It's worth it.
Yeah, it's
Please
all
don't
gas
worry.
smiles now. It still makes me happy because she'll be making this uncomfortable face. I'm like, are you going to cry or toot? Cry or toot? Please toot. And she'll crack a smile and
Nick
she'll
was
let one
like
rip.
the toot machine. He'd do like all these leg exercises.
Yeah.
He'd get her like cleared and good to go.
We do the legs and I do the bounces. So the legs, bounce up and down off my stomach. I've got all the different things. And then there's this little like butt whistle. I don't know what they call it. If they really can't toot, you put a little oil on it and stick it in there and it fart whistles
I'm
out.
familiar with that.
A fart whistle. Ah, I've never. No, we
Yeah.
weren't.
There's
we
a
didn't
name
have that
for
gadget.
it, but I don't remember. You probably didn't need it. She's like extra gassy. I don't know what it is.
Interesting.
What are you guys eating?
I mean, I'm eating a regular diet. Kristen's vegetarian.
I did
So-
not know that.
So I don't know if that has anything to do with it. I'm not trying to, I'm
We're not
absolutely
placing blame.
not placing blame.
No,
I don't
no,
want,
we're not
I don't want that.
placing blame,
I'm not placing
Nick.
blame. I just have no idea. We don't know. The doctor says she's very healthy. She's just a gassy baby.
Just a
So
gassy girl.
River was gassy. I didn't want to put a label on it.
We don't want to name her gassy, but she
Yeah.
definitely like had her moments
Yeah.
for sure.
Definitely a toot machine.
Oh, how has it been watching back this season of The Valley?
it's been interesting because I had a lot of fun last summer. I had a blast, honestly. So
Is that because you while filming, you're like, I'm the only decent man here? Or was it for different reasons?
I think, there are times that crosses my mind. I'm like, what is wrong with all these guys? But I just chose to have fun. I tried to stay in the loop of all the drama, but there are things I just rolled my eyes and tried to disassociate because I had all the nerves building up to the proposal, trying to get all that together.
It was a beautiful proposal.
Thank you.
It was
Yeah.
the most Kristen response that we could have ever gotten.
Do you believe she was surprised? Because the trolls online are back and forth.
Oh, really?
What do you believe, Luke?
I know she was surprised.
She
And
was
she
trying to
was
find
surprised.
those dolphins. She said, "Where? Where is the break in the thing?" And then turns out, goes, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Yeah, it felt real. It felt very Kristen.
Yeah, it was.
It was. It
What
felt
do
very
you
Kristen.
think? What did she say? What did she think was going on?
She just thought we were out there fishing. She thought I convinced them to take us on a fishing trip because I've been trying to do that since day one of season one. I'm like, they're going to pay for me to go fishing at some point. Can I say that? I can't say that, can I? We're going to go fishing on camera at some point is what I meant to say.
You
And,
wanted to take a fishing trip with all the guys.
No,
Or
all the
just
guys.
everyone?
I just wanted to go fishing.
Okay.
I don't care how we get there.
And Kristen likes being on a boat, so I knew it would work out. She just thought, hey, we're going out there and we love Nia and Danny. She's like, this is going to be great. Not having to deal with all the drama, hearing about Jackson, Brittany, and Michelle and Jesse and Janet and Jason versus everybody and all that business.
How much of the show do you feel like takes up your and Kristen's life versus, you guys as being regular, normal people?
Too much? No. I mean, from my personal perspective, coming from outside of this and not seeking this out at all, when Kristen and I met, she wasn't on TV. I had never seen Vanderpump Rules nor heard of it. I don't think I'd ever watched a single show on Bravo. And,
It's like I had never watched TV.
and then
He's like, I was just in
watched,
Colorado.
I watched sports. There were the reality shows I liked was Wicked Tuna. You guys are familiar with that one? No?
We're
Fishing
not.
show.
It's a fishing show. Yeah. So
Context clues.
A&E.
show.
I'm like
Of course, you're
I'm an
Duck
outdoor
Dynasty?
nerd. Okay. Duck Dynasty. It's a good
I
one.
had a
yeah,
feeling
yeah,
that you'd
right.
be-
Of course.
Naked and
So,
Afraid
Yeah.
for sure. Of
course.
Found
Yeah.
his
Survival
channel.
shows. Absolutely. National Geographic, Discovery.
And Kristen
You've
wasn't
cracked
on
his
those.
algorithm. Yeah.
That's me. So anyway, coming from that, I think I feel that my life is too absorbed in other people's business now than it ever was before. Yeah.
I just wanted to go back to the engagement for a second because there's two moments that I really, really loved, which was you trying to tell Kristen how to dress for the boat, and you're just like, so I spoke to Nia.
Like you have to shower.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming, and honestly, I was a bit of a mess. They, showed I had just seen my grandma a couple days before, and that ended up being the last time I saw her.
Oh,
And so I was on this up and down of emotions, and I was kind of
So that
All
wasn't
over the
put on
place.
for the engagement. You were actually dealing with those emotions at the same time.
yes, I had flown like 2 days before we left for Hawaii. I got back from Indiana, seeing my grandma for the last time.
Wow.
So,
Okay. Because
yeah.
that was like, I couldn't figure that out because when she was at the pool being like, why won't you talk to me? And I was just like, oh, honey, you have no idea what's about to come. And then I'm like, okay, no, that was real. So I am very sorry to hear about your grandmother.
Thank you.
But also, congratulations on
Thank you.
literally
Yeah.
a beautiful
As you can
engagement.
imagine, just like,
A lot of ups and downs.
Yeah.
As someone who, like, by your own admission, like, doesn't know a lot of reality TV or follow it, I am curious, what is your take on the show that you're on? I'm sure you've heard a lot of the discourse and opinions about specifically the season, the show itself, and, you know, getting to know you a little bit. Like, you do seem like a really grounded, normal, decent guy in a cast on a show that, you know, by, you know, a lot of fan standards is dark and toxic, and there's just a lot of, you know, conversation about, like, should we be watching this stuff, specifically around, like, Jax and his mental health struggles, and just how the whole approach with rehab, we don't even think it's real, to be honest.
I don't know if we'll ever know if it's real or
Do
not.
you
I mean,
even know?
I wasn't
Do you
there.
think it's real?
I know he was able to leave every day. There was no one policing him, and he was messing with stuff at Brittany's house. And so I don't know. I don't know if we'll ever really know what the situation was like. I don't know. But as far as if, you know, it's something we should be watching, it is something that really happened. You know, it's something I think that was going to happen because of the way things were with him and Brittany. And I'd seen Brittany a lot during their separation before Jax freak out and went to rehab. And, you know, she was really going through it. So as far as, I mean, it's kind of what we all signed up for. You see the reel, and it was dark. I think the side of the assault on Danny's character was darker than it needed to be.
Mm-hmm.
Or is darker than it needed to be, because it hasn't ended for certain people.
Yeah, like, what's going on with that? Do you think it's coming from a place of jealousy?
Absolutely, 100%. I think that Danny and Nia have a healthy relationship, and a number of other couples don't.
Okay.
In this episode, Jason got a tattoo of ring on his ring finger.
A line. They got matching lines.
Did Janet make him do that?
They both got, one got a white line, one has a black line.
Is this basically like, you know what? Fuck your rumors. I'm tattooing a ring.
But it also, it's not making sense, because if he never takes off his ring, why does he need a tattoo?
That's my take. I'm sorry. I'm glad you said it, because that was, to me, and I brought this up to Jason.
You did say sometimes he takes it off at home.
Right. I mean, this could have come and gone like that.
Yeah.
And he, you know, there's a million reasons why you might take your ring off.
Sure.
And forget it. Or, you know, you're seen without a ring on. Okay, there's a million explanations that make sense. That doesn't mean you're trying to cheat. They created this narrative of you're calling me a cheater, and then continued to defend it with no one bringing it back up all season. So to me, it made me think more and more like, oh, maybe this rumor is true, because why would you defend it so hard for so long with no one else talking about it, unless there was some truth to it?
Well, did you see recently Ariana Madix's brother, Jeremy, commented on something saying, like, giving the time and place of which Jason had removed his ring?
I did see that, and I have spoken with Jeremy.
You have?
Yes. And he told me the same thing in person prior to going public with it.
Wow.
And like, what, they were like out together, or he just saw him there? And it was,
I believe it was a group of guys that were out. Yeah. Some guys from the boys chat, you know.
Oh.
Are you part of this boys chat?
I'm not. I never have been. And
that makes,
don't think I ever will be.
That makes you, if you would have said that you are, I would have been like, okay, well, that Luke's not, maybe not the guy I thought he was.
Number one guy in the group.
Because it feels like a loser chat.
I mean, so here's the thing. It's so funny. I kind of make fun of Jax about this, because he's like, this is a sacred chat. Stuff can't get out. All this garbage. There's like 30 guys on the chat. Every one of them with a wife or girlfriend has gotten their phone and looked through it. Mm-hmm. Kristen said she was disgusted by the things she saw on it with her last boyfriend. And I mean, Brittany has seen the chat. I don't know. There's no like real secret to it, I feel like.
Yeah, but Brittany seeing the chat doesn't necessarily mean anything.
No, he's saying that Jax was like, oh, this is such a sacred chat, nothing gets out, while all of these wives and girlfriends are reading this chat and like going to their girls' lunches and being like, oh my God, did you see what so-and-so said about so-and-so?
Well, one time Jax actually even told me, I ran into him at a bar and he brought up the boys chat to me. I hadn't asked about it. He's like, man, the reason I can't put you on is I just think you're going to report back to Kristen. And I'm like, dude, it's okay. I don't need to be on your chat. It's really fine.
You're like, please.
What are your genuine thoughts on Jax?
My genuine thoughts on Jax.
Yeah.
I mean, he's documented lies, cheats, steals. I mean, how far do you want me to go with that as far as what kind of person is he? Can you trust him? No.
You've taken kind of a back seat in both seasons. Like, you know, it's like you play like I'm Kristen's supportive partner, and that makes a lot of sense. You're just like, all right, I'm just here to support my fiance, my girlfriend, you know, mother of my child. The frustration, I think, with a lot of fans in general, not directed at you specifically, and I'm assuming your answer is like, you know, you're just there to support Kristen, but like when it comes to like Jack specifically and Jesse, those two a lot, it just like no one, like you mentioned the Danny kind of attacks he's getting. I want to see someone like you call out, get into it with Jesse and Jax, and just call out some of this shitty behavior of how they've been or how they've treated their partners, you know, the mothers of their children and things like that. Why specifically for you? Are you just taking a back seat, or like, yeah, why does no one really call it out? You know, because it's like us fans seem to call it out. We get frustrated with the behavior every week. We're just like, fuck these guys. Why would they act this way? Why would you call the mother of your child a prostitute and things like that? Like, just like these are low character choices from some of these men who just like act like this is okay behavior, and I want to see it get called out by other men in the group, whether it's Schwartz or whether it's you or whether it's Danny. But like Jason can call out Danny like he's doing something terrible, and like meanwhile like Jax is just jacking it up, and like, you know, Jesse just seems like an emotional terrorist. Yeah, I'm curious what you think about all that.
I mean, in Santa Barbara, I did talk to Jesse quite a bit as far as, you know, like, you know, this isn't cool. And leading up to, you know, the big fight at the winery, they can't show you everything that happens through the summer, right? And I think there are instances where maybe I come off a little monotone or boring for what they're going for. I don't know, as far as, you know, what makes the cut, because a lot happened. So much happened through the summer that they can't include it all. So I'll tell you that I have had those moments and have called Jax out. And oddly enough, after I called Jax out, he wanted to hang out more. And he'd text me, you know, 3-4 times a week, days a week, wanting to go golfing or wanting to go do something. I said, you're not a good person. And he didn't refute it, didn't even really respond to it, but I saw it like hit him.
And now he looks to you as an accountability coach?
No, I wouldn't say he looks to me like that. I'd say it was just interesting to me that he was hitting me up to hang out a lot more after that.
No, I think he wants to win him over.
Oh,
I think that
sees it as a challenge.
Yeah.
It's like, I want to prove to you I'm, you know,
a good guy.
Yeah.
I wonder, after that boys therapy session that you had, that was very interesting. Jesse's issue with you was that you were so loyal to your girlfriend and like didn't have his back or like told him stuff. Like, what was going through your mind when you're sitting here filming something like that?
I'll be honest, I was kind of happy Scott said we weren't supposed to respond to what they were saying, because I was trying not to laugh, to be honest with you. It just, I don't know, these guys are weird. I don't know how to put it all into words sometimes.
Is that like Jesse's buddy?
They've become friends. I don't know how long they've known each other.
And he's like a life coach?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I've talked to Scott a couple other times. Scott's been to a couple of parties I've been to at Jesse's.
My therapist
so
also
I'd say he's a friend.
to my parties.
Okay, so it's not that crazy.
No, it's not that crazy.
She's joking.
I'm joking. I've never hung out with my therapist outside of my 1 hour
Apparently
sessions.
I'm showing too much junk. Close this.
Shorts is a choice. Shorts is a choice.
I mean, as you saw, I'm not afraid to wear something too tight or too short. But
That Speedo definitely.
Would you put Jesse in that category of not a good guy?
I think Jesse is trying harder than Jax is. I think I absolutely hate it.
To actually be a better guy or to appear as a better guy on camera?
He is really trying to be a better guy, and I think he has actually made strides. Before we filmed season 1, I had only briefly met Jesse, and as you saw how things went, I hated his guts. I want to kill him.
Mm-hmm.
And from then to now, I would consider Jesse a friend.
Okay. What do you think he's worked on that would change his biggest critic's perspective?
His accountability, as far as he does call himself out. He has called me before when he knows he did something, said something, you know, or he's the reason why things weren't moving along in the divorce proceedings. He's, been like, I'm still working on it. I know my ego gets in the way. I get triggered by things that Michelle does, and I respond, with things that trigger her, and it drives things up. Like him being aware of that, I think is a big step that I don't believe Jax has taken yet.
Has he ever given any sort of reasoning as to why he knew Michelle's mother was sick and not doing well with cancer, and he still continued to treat her the way that he did?
I don't believe the full truth is coming from either side. I think that Michelle paints it in a way that is always going to make Jesse look worse. I'm not trying to say he did nothing wrong in this situation, but I think that the way it was painted is worse than it really was, because he said that they had an agreement prior to that where, now I don't remember all the details, but Michelle and Aaron were going to go to Europe, Italy or something like that. And they had planned this, and he was going to take Isabella. He back and forth they ended up not going because her mom was so sick, and he was already down in Orange County when the call came in. And it said they ended up finding a babysitter, and it didn't end up being as big a deal as she made it, as far as got her taken care of so she could go down there. I don't know all the details as far as that goes, but I
guess I more so mean just like, obviously, they were married. He was a part of her family. Like, she came on the show and she was like, he did know that my mom was sick and that she was in the hospital during filming. And I guess in the Santa Barbara trip where he's like, that was a very tough beat. He's calling her a whore and a hooker and all these crazy things. And it's like I guess it's hard for me to understand how this person who we were once married, they're the mother of my child. I'm aware that the closest person to them, their mom, is dying and not doing well, but yet I'm still going to treat them this way on national television is a tough beat.
It's international television.
Sorry. Yes, of course. Put some respect on your name.
Hello, hey you.
Okay. Yes, sir.
But, I genuinely don't believe he wanted it was a boys chat thing, and he didn't want that statement to get out. And he had not been drinking for weeks and was absolutely hammered the entire Santa Barbara trip. Not that that's an excuse, but
he didn't exactly, once it got out, his response wasn't, "Oh, I'm so ashamed. That was so inappropriate. I should have never, oh my God." It was kind of like, oops.
Yeah, he definitely didn't seem to give a fuck.
Yeah.
That his daughter will one day watch him call her mom that.
I mean, the fact that I don't know, man, there's no, there's no truth to it. And it comes to that. I think she'll see it and just see, wow, dad was an asshole back then. I think that's going to be more than questioning whether or not her mom's a prostitute, is the way I think it'll be taken.
Yeah.
We can only hope.
We can only hope for sure.
I mean, but I am just, I respect your opinion, and I'm just like, I'm curious why you're willing to give Jesse more grace than Jax. If I were like, we wanted to get Jesse on the show. We've been very hard on Jesse. But if I'm Jesse, and if I can recognize my wrongs, if I can be like, you know what, I have been a piece of shit. I've done this shit, and I actually want to be different. Then I would be able to come on a show like this and address it. I would take the criticism. I'm just curious why, not even about this coming on the show, but I haven't seen anything that makes me go, yeah, this guy really sorry. He's woken up,
We'll put it this, I know that he's still very hurt about the alleged cheating. But as far as I do believe he's a loyal guy. I believe that he has never done anything outside of, gone outside of a relationship. And I believe that has hurt him in ways that he hasn't dealt with yet. And so
that's fair, but and not to make any type of infidelity okay, but if all Michelle did in the past 6 months of Jesse pulling his shit and being emotionally unavailable and kind of just being very difficult to be around and pushed her away, if she made out or talked to some guy, it's just like he's got to take some kind of accountability for that. And I just, again, now you have a daughter. I just would never want to be that example to my children for how I handled a difficult situation. Because I don't, listen, I don't know what it's like to get divorced, and it is difficult. I can only imagine. And I think Jesse has a million reasons to be upset, but how he's handled his emotions in such a toxic way it's hard to just be like, he was having a bad day.
From places I've lived, being in Los Angeles, I believe the male EQ is significantly lower out here on average.
Yeah.
So, I think that has a big part of the explanation there. He has said also that he didn't used to look at himself, like remove himself from a situation and see the way he acted or see the things he said differently. He was just in the moment and didn't reflect back. And now he's gotten to the point where he does that and he's like, oh shit, I sucked, at those times.
So he does think he's been an asshole?
Yeah.
Okay.
Where are you and Kristen on Janet these days?
Neither of us have spoken to her since the reunion.
Her whole fleeing to Switzerland or taking a family vacation.
I don't know what the whole truth of that is. I know that the article quoted her saying that she told them that, and then she went on social media and said, it was picked up. It looked like I don't know. It looked like she wanted attention.
Do you
to me,
think her comments and the way she classified Danny's behavior is unforgivable?
I would not be around her anymore if I was them. I would absolutely remove her from the people I'm associated with personally.
Okay. And do you feel like it's safe for you guys to be around Janet and Jason?
Jason surprised me a bit this summer because Jason and I used to think we had more in common. It was not lack of backbone. It's like he found a backbone that is, fused with Janet's. That's what it seemed like.
So no backbone.
No, it's true.
Janet's backbone.
The one thing that was really cool getting to meet you last season was seeing Kristen also in a healthy relationship, but the way that like when she would react in certain ways that you'd sit her down and be like, hey, like, this is why people are reacting to it this way. This is what you should have done. And like this, like I support you. I will always have your back, but I'm also going to tell you how it really is. Whereas Janet and Jason, their entire storyline is everybody else's business. I have learned nothing about this couple, their relationship. They have a baby. I know nothing about them, but they have opinions on everyone. And Jason does not hold Janet accountable at all. That in this last episode, Janet's crying, being like, sometimes I get so sad, or like I wake up being afraid that he's going to leave me one day because he'll see what everyone else sees. And it's like, well, if you think that he might see what everyone else sees, why don't you try to see what everyone else sees and do the work? I don't know. Sorry, she bothers me. But yeah.
So was there a question in there?
No. I was just like, do you feel like they do that on purpose in the sense of like creating their storyline around everyone else so that nobody gets to see what's going on with them behind closed doors?
I don't know. I don't know what goes on behind closed doors, and I don't know that I know them much better than the viewers do. Like, I don't know their love story. Right. I don't know anything about Janet's past marriage. I don't know, much other than what I've heard through the grapevine, because it's all gossip. It's all game of telephone with everybody. And like the whole fan thing, it's like said in a negative way, but like she has said and other people have said, most of the people that kind of come into this friend group know Vanderpump Rules. They're fans, whatever. I know that if you watch, she pops up in some old Vanderpump Rules stuff. She's trying to, be around the group. I definitely think she wanted to be on TV. It was a big goal of hers.
Yeah.
So wherever that goes. But as far as getting to know them, and if they're deflecting because they don't want people to know the true story, I'd be lying if I said that thought hadn't crossed my mind.
If Bravo came to you and said, Luke, we need your opinion on casting for next season, do you think this show needs a little bit of a shakeup, a little reboot? What would be your answer? This is all hypothetical, of course.
Hypothetically, I would love to have another guy with Danny and myself that is like, down to earth family man.
Do you think we should get Jax Taylor off the show?
Hypothetically,
of course.
I think it's dangerous to give a person like him the platform that he has, because there will always be apologists and people wanting to see. Look, Jax is entertaining. Maybe there is some sort of a show for him.
Maybe.
Now it's sad, now, when he was in his 20s, it was like, oh, haha, funny.
We're like, now it's like still.
It's the same story. Yeah, the guy's pushing 50.
He started off at like 35.
I'm 34. Jax is pushing 50.
Yeah, pushing 50s. And the fact that, he's still acting like this, it is dangerous, it feels like, to watch.
Yes. Yeah, I mean.
Would you get rid of Janet?
Hypothetically.
I mean, hypothetically. Can I answer all this? Yeah? Okay.
This is your opinion.
I know. Okay. Hypothetically, honestly, I would like Jax and Janet removed from the show. Yes.
Okay.
That would be, I think, a good direction to go with things.
Who would you bring on? hypothetically?
I have a good friend. His name's Jeff Perkins. He's my workout partner.
Okay. Luke's casting.
He's also.
Would you take?
Is he married with kids?
Yeah.
He is not.
Okay.
But
single.
He's very entertaining. He's also does not drink.
Love. We love that.
But he's very entertaining.
Someone who can
he's
be
an
entertaining
actor.
without needing
He's
alcohol.
an actor, producer.
And they can't be like, oh, someone got blacked out drunk. Can't do that with him.
Right. But I don't know. He's a fun dude. Honestly, everybody has met him. He knew Danny adjacently, like wasn't close with him, didn't have his phone number before I met him. And then on my birthday last year, went golfing, and Jeff and Danny, and then my soon-to-be brother-in-law was our foursome. And Danny and Jeff, we had a great time.
Who had the biggest dick?
Who had the biggest dick?
In the foursome.
We didn't compare. Jeff's a huge guy, so probably him.
Okay.
He's like 6'5", big shoulders. He could probably play Superman. He's a
Oh
big
my
dude.
God. Wait, cast him immediately.
Good looking dude too. I wouldn't be the best looking guy on the show anymore
Oh
if
no,
they
you'd
cast him.
lose your spot.
It's all right. We need to glow up for the show.
We do. We need a glow up for sure.
Would you be excited to have Lala join?
No.
Okay.
Are you planning on showing Kaya on season 3?
Kyle will be part of it. I mean, there's no like plan to, prop her up on this pedestal and be like, everyone look at my beautiful baby.
Right.
But we're not going to hide her from the cameras.
Okay.
Okay. Look, we have a little game for you before we send you on your way.
Okay. I like games usually. I don't know if I like your games.
It's called Valley Victories.
Okay.
You have to say something nice about each of these statements or people or events.
Okay. Should be easy.
We're going to try to bring some light into the dark, dark valley that it is.
Look, I try every day.
I know. You do a
So.
great job.
Kristen taking a shower for your engagement.
Look, she doesn't shower every day as it is, but well, I mean, it's good for your hair,
yeah.
Anyway,
I don't wash my hair.
something positive about that. I mean, she was surprised. That's like proof.
There you go. Yeah, that's true.
Something positive.
Jesse Lolly trying to be friends with Michelle's new man.
It's effort in the right direction.
Okay. Janet.
Period.
And that's it.
You have to say something nice.
I feel like the Jeopardy song is playing.
It is
in
playing.
my head.
Yeah.
Let's see. I mean, she can't be all bad. I just can't. Honestly, I'm sorry. I can't think of a time I had fun with
She was
Janet
made by
in
Jesus.
years.
Can I help you?
It's God's creation.
She has good hair.
Every show needs a villain.
Every show needs a villain. I mean, not that dark of a villain though.
That's true. Okay.
I mean,
I'm trying to
I don't
help.
know. I'm not impressed,
Hmm.
nor have I seen the silver lining in years. So
Okay.
Nia calling Janet Voldemort of the Valley.
bravo.
Fun on
That's pretty
Twitter.
good. I mean, Kristen's the only one I know that hasn't seen Harry Potter. Can you
What?
believe that? Yeah, Kristen has not seen Harry Potter. She's not into fantasy.
I'm
At
not
all.
either.
Which is a WeHo. Like, I feel like it should be up her alley.
She doesn't like to,
We're gonna have to
watch
talk about
that
this
sort
later.
of.
Jason
TV,
getting a
yeah.
tattoo ring.
It's his first tattoo. The guy's been inked. Is that,
Yay. A birthday party at Dave & Buster's.
I'm good at games. So, I mean, I did have fun with that. And honestly, no one won Janet more tickets or coupon, whatever they're called, coins, tickets, whatever they are, than me.
What did you get with your tickets?
I just gave them to her. I don't know.
That
She
was
could
so
get her
It's her
neon
birthday.
light.
That was so nice of you.
I don't know what she got. I thought she got a drone or something.
There was a kid drone, yes. And she was also looking at some neon light that said like game on or something.
Okay.
The snacks on the boat in Hawaii.
It was all fantastic. So I actually did catch a fish with charcuterie. Put like salami on a hook. The captain had a fishing pole under a seat and pulled it out and threw in some crackers and stuff, and then put a piece of salami on a hook, and I caught a little trigger fish. It was pretty cool.
Oh my God. Wow. Look at you. You're a real fisherman.
You being a father.
I mean, it's great. It's what I've always wanted. It's calling I've had for many years. Looking forward to her personality shining, her, growing a little bit. I really think people say you're going to look back at like this potato stage and miss it when they're running around, getting into trouble and all this stuff. But I'd rather be chasing her around.
If I may offer you unsolicited advice, I would enjoy it more than you're waiting for the next stage.
It is.
I think she's showing you personality already.
So she's more like Kristen than me.
Who knows?
She might be a little bit of an introvert.
She looks more like me, I'll say. But
Yeah, so does River. Looks just
That's
like
the
me.
firstborn,
Yeah.
nature. But yeah, I would embrace the potato stage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you do. They're only that small for that day.
I mean, I love watching her sleep.
She's very peaceful when she sleeps like that.
Yeah.
What is your opinion of Michelle?
My opinion of Michelle. I think that Michelle. I haven't thought about Michelle in a while.
Like, who is Michelle?
No, I know. I'm trying to think what my. Sorry, man. I've been up since 3:30 in the
Let me
morning.
ask you it this way. I'm actually a little surprised.
Yes,
and
give me more
obviously, you know
context.
that I have a very strong opinion about Jessie. And for whatever reason, it's just like Michelle gets a lot of hate online. I'm actually a little bit surprised by it. Like, I'm not saying Michelle doesn't have things that you not to criticize, but I'm just surprised that she doesn't get more empathy when it comes to how Jessie has treated her. But do you think there are things about Michelle that we're not seeing? And do you feel like there's a good reason why she hasn't gotten some of the fan base's empathy that, say, maybe Britney's getting, that I think, quite honestly, I don't think she deserves as much.
Okay, so maybe a little more in each direction, but I'd still personally, I think Britney is a lovely, wonderful, happy, bubbly, fun person.
Mhm.
Michelle is less of those things. She's a little colder. She doesn't have as much to say. Tougher to get through the shell and get to know her.
Sure,
Like,
for
it's
sure.
not like a warm welcome kind of thing. And I think that's a big part of it, as far as why she's not getting as much sympathy, as much love. I think Michelle is a good person. I think that's just a big part of it. And I think a lot of the criticism does come from how quickly she was in a relationship with Aaron post separation.
How do you feel about Aaron?
I don't have a problem with Aaron.
Yeah.
I mean,
Are you
we've
friends?
talked. I mean, I haven't talked to him enough to consider him a friend, but he's like, we'd say hi and we'd hang out if we're in the same place together, but we don't talk on any regular basis.
When you watched the conversation between him and Jessie and he was saying that there was no crossover, do you believe that?
I mean, body language, look on his face,
Yeah.
which is what I typically look at. I didn't really believe it.
That's kind of
I don't believe the way it was said. I don't know. I don't know the truth, but I didn't fully
Do you
believe
think
that.
it really matters at this point? Do
No,
you think
they're
Jessie should
divorced.
just let it go?
100%. I think they should both let it go, move on with their lives.
Jessie also is in a relationship still, right?
Has Michelle not let
Yes.
it go? I mean, isn't Jessie the only one not letting it go?
I don't know. I talked to Jessie more than Michelle, but he said, I believe that there are things that Michelle does in spite of Jessie at times. And
Oh,
I'm not saying that isn't justified,
Yeah.
but I think that is where this is coming from, as far as for them both to let it go. Jessie had it admitted that basically their divorce, only reason it's not completely finalized, he has a little bit of work he needs to do. They've agreed on everything and he hadn't gotten it done yet, but it's about to be done. They're both moving on. They're going to be in a happier place. And if we get a season 3, I think we'll see a different storyline. We won't see them going at each other the whole time.
Okay. Any more questions for Luke?
I just want a season 3.
I'd
I
like
want
one
to see
too.
Kaya. I want to
I
see.
feel like we're gonna get one.
Yeah, I want to see everything. I'm just so excited. I'm just like, when did you guys start filming last season so I can count down?
About now.
Okay.
So
The premise is amazing. I just feel like, it just got a little dark, and get rid of Jax and fake therapy, and
Well, now a year's gone by, so I want to see where like Brittany is at today. I don't care where Jax is at, but like I like to see where everybody's at year by year.
all right, Luke. Well, thanks for coming, man. It's been great
Yeah.
catching up. Congratulations on being a dad, and congratulations on everything that you and Kristen have. We're big fans of both of you. And despite many of your peers on this show, it has been fun, specifically since we've watched Kristen from, since Vanderpump, to see her growth and progress as a person and your guys' relationship. You guys are a bright light in what is otherwise a very dark season. So appreciate you being that, and thanks for coming on.
yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me. We're the light side of the valley.
Yeah,
There you go. The light side of the valley. Thank you to all our guests, Luke, Broderick, and Wells Adams. Be sure to tune in on Thursday for another episode of Reality Recap. We got a stacked show for you. The very incredibly talented and wonderfully funny Matt Rogers is with us to talk about all things Bravo, just reality TV. They recently recorded and hosted the Culture Awards. That was last week. We get to talk with Matt fresh off of recording that. It's a ton of fun. You won't want to miss it. We also have Austin Nichols promoting I Know What You Did Last Summer. You also probably recognize him from One Tree Hill. And then to round things out, we got some very funny content creators who are also big fans of the shows that you also love. James Neal and Taylor Owen. That's all coming up on Thursday. We will see you then. Also, if you haven't listened to all of our Love Island interviews, they are up and out there for you to digest and enjoy. Be sure to do that if you haven't already. We'll see you on Thursday. Bye-bye. Hey guys, if you loved what you listened to, make sure you hit that subscribe button below. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.